Hello everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Mass shooter sued Kelly for allegedly poisoning him in a bizarre legal twist that has left both the entertainment industry and legal analysts scratching their heads. Newly unsealed court documents reveal that the man accused of carrying out the tragic mass shooting earlier this year had previously filed a civil lawsuit against country music star Kelly. The lawsuit, which was dismissed before the shooting took place, alleged that had poisoned him as part of a supposed conspiracy. Though the claims were never substantiated, their emergence in the aftermath of a violent tragedy has reignited public debate about celebrity harassment, mental health, and the misuse of the court system. The background of the shooting: the tragedy shocked the nation in early 2025, when a lone gunman opened fire inside a crowded shopping plaza, killing 14 people and injuring dozens more. The suspect, whose name is being withheld here due to journalistic ethics, and to avoid glorifying his crime, was apprehended after a tense standoff with law enforcement. Investigations quickly painted a troubling picture of the accused. He had a documented history of erratic behavior, including online rants, stalking allegations, and a trail of bizarre lawsuits filed against public figures. Court records now confirm that one of his most outlandish targets was none other than Kelly, the country singer and former American Idol finalist, beloved for her bubbly personality and philanthropic work. The lawsuit, filed in late 2024 in a North Carolina federal court, accused of participating in what the suspect described as a slow poisoning campaign. The filing claimed that she had infiltrated his life through toxic chemicals, and that she was working on behalf of shadowy government and entertainment industry figures to silence him permanently. Legal experts have since described the complaint as delusional and incoherent. It included handwritten addendums, strange references to country music lyrics, and allegations that had visited his home in disguise to tamper with his food. At one point, the shooter alleged that he had proof of involvement in his alleged poisoning, which turned out to be nothing more than expired medicine bottles and photographs of Kelly taken from her public Instagram account. A federal judge dismissed the case in January 2025, labeling it frivolous and cautioning the plaintiff against further misuse of the courts. Kelly connection: Kelly, now 39, has long been a staple of the country music community. Since her breakout on American Idol in 2006, she has enjoyed a steady career as a recording artist, television personality, and philanthropist. She has also endured personal hardships, most recently the tragic passing of her husband, songwriter Kyle Jacobs, in 2023. Has not publicly commented on the resurfaced lawsuit, though sources close to her told reporters that she was shaken when she first learned of the filing months ago. At the time, she reportedly increased security around her Nashville home and limited her public appearances. She has dealt with strange fan behavior before, but this one was particularly disturbing, a friend have said. It wasn't just a fan who crossed a line. It was someone with dangerous intentions. Legal and psychological red flags. The shooter's lawsuit is now being scrutinized in hindsight as a red flag that may have foreshadowed his eventual violent actions. Experts in criminal psychology argue that individuals who file frivolous lawsuits against celebrities often display signs of paranoia, delusional thinking, and obsession. This is a textbook example of targeted delusions, said Dr. Laura Benton, a forensic psychologist who studies celebrity stalking cases. When someone begins to believe that a famous person is responsible for their suffering, and then takes legal or violent action, it's a sign of severe untreated mental illness. Authorities are now facing criticism for failing to recognize the lawsuit as a potential warning sign. Advocacy groups for gun control and mental health reform argue that more could have been done to intervene before tragedy struck. The broader pattern, interestingly, Kellie was not the only celebrity named in the shooter's past lawsuits. Records show that he had also attempted to sue a handful of other public figures, ranging from television personalities to professional athletes, all on equally bizarre grounds. One filing accused a talk show host of using electromagnetic waves to steal thoughts. Another claimed a former NFL player had planted tracking devices inside his vehicle. While all of these cases were swiftly dismissed, critics argue that the repeated filings show a clear escalation of delusional thinking that should have prompted closer monitoring. Public reaction news of the shooter's lawsuit against has triggered a wave of reactions online. Fans of the singer expressed outrage that her name was dragged into such a disturbing situation. Kellie deserves peace after everything she's been through, one fan wrote on social media. She shouldn't even be connected to this madness. Others pointed out the tragic irony that the judicial system had a direct glimpse into the shooter's instability months before his violent rampage, but little was done. This is why mental health screenings are so important, wrote another user. If someone is suing celebrities for poisoning them, that's a cry for help, not something to just stamp dismissed and move on. A look at resilience despite the unsettling lawsuit has continued to focus on her career and charity work. She remains active in supporting military families, veterans, and children's hospitals, causes she has championed for over a decade. Insiders say she has leaned on close friends, family, and faith to get through the recent wave of unwanted attention. Kellie is incredibly strong, said one longtime collaborator. She knows who she is, and she's not going to let something like this derail her. Misuse of the court system. Legal scholars also warn that cases like this highlight a growing problem: the misuse of courts by individuals filing frivolous or malicious lawsuits. Not only do such cases waste judicial resources, but they can also create fear and reputational damage for innocent parties. Like, there needs to be a balance between allowing open access to the courts and protecting people from being harassed through litigation, said attorney James, who has worked on celebrity stalking cases. The case is an example of the kind of absurd filings that should trigger both dismissal and closer scrutiny of the filer's mental health. What happens next? The revelations about the shooter's lawsuit against Kellie are unlikely to impact her directly, given that the case was already dismissed and she has no involvement in the tragic events that followed. However, her name will now remain attached to the legal saga in news reports and court records, something that sources say she finds distressing. Lawmakers are also expected to examine whether new safeguards should be introduced to identify when frivolous lawsuits are actually red flags for dangerous behavior. Mental health professionals emphasize that such cases should not be ignored, but rather flagged as potential indicators of risk. Conclusion: the mass shooting remains a tragedy that will haunt the community for years to come. As the nation continues to mourn the victims and demand answers, the discovery of the shooter's past lawsuit against Kellie adds yet another disturbing layer to the story. Is an unwanted association with a dark chapter of American violence. For legal and mental health experts, it is a chilling reminder of how untreated delusions can escalate from paper filings to real-world devastation. Above all, the story underscores a painful truth: that in an era where celebrities are often seen as public property, they also become targets for those whose fractured minds seek to blame them for imagined wrongs. Kellie did nothing wrong, yet her name is forever linked to the disturbing obsessions of a man who turned his paranoia into violence.